Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started here. Normally, my lovely face up there. There we go. Good morning. Welcome to DexFXMarkets.com. Today is the 2nd of June, and it's 11 o'clock. We're going to get started. I'm running a little bit late, so I do apologize. We're going to just kind of dive right in here. I'm going to get over my TradingView charts. Oop. I only have everything ready, and I do apologize. Let me pull up the screen here. Meetings. Let's get share screen. Doobie. There we go. All right, and now get our chart up. Really wanted to go for the Dexatomic 1 hour. Come on, little buggies. There you go. Where you at? There's the price. Pull it up. Oh, I did it again. That's where you grab recycle. Okay. All right. No signal there. Let's recycle here. We do have a signal on the Euro USD. Some good levels dealing with. There, we got one on the EJ. This is what I mean. Be prepared in the morning. All right, there we go. So we got EJ. We got the cable. We're going to look at each one of these. Let's get in looking at the Euro USD. I'm going to pause the share too, so I can bring up our accounts. Hopefully you're having a good day today. Today is the NFP week, so we got to be a little bit careful on how we're trading. Only available, reserve, total P&L. There we go. All right, there we go. Resume share. Hopefully you can see what's going on. There we go. We're in. Chris, now I need to edit that video. I showed you all my stuff in there. All right. We're here. My big old flowery mug. Euro USD. Let's look at the. What's the audio USD? Let me get everybody into the same pool area. Now I should have had this already like this. We're going to use, it's the audio USD. We're looking at the euro. There we go. Okay. We are looking at that top line right there with a bounce right there, but I really don't care. So 1194 on the sell. 1194. Now 12, 1194. There's 92. It's sitting at 17. Possibility. We're going to do 5 in there. Place the order. Definitely check news as well, real quick. I had some stuff earlier. Nothing so much bad tonight. Really bad. I'm not even thinking about trading tonight. We can come in and watch, I guess, but that's about it. All right, let's kill that one. All right, let's go back to here. We're going to hit in the UJ. Don't really have a lot of information to the left, which I want to try to keep. That peak is in the mean, so that's the only thing that's going for us right there. That peak is in the mean of this little process here, but I'm fair knuckled to say that it's not not really strong. So again, I don't really have a lot of information to go to. So I probably will not be trading the EJ at that point. See, simple, 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 simple. It's all about the information. I only got one little peak to go with. Yes, I do have a moving average mentality as it's still going up, 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 and we have a trade going against it. This could be a peak level. There's a whole bunch of indicators that we could pile on, but we won't. Let's get back over and look at the GU, the cable. It looks like we do have some previous information here, and we're working with this zone right here. We'll grab the mean there. And we'll look at that 2572. We're probably a little bit late, 2572 on the GU. 2572 on the GU. There's 76 with only 10. We'll place that order, 25 working order, place it, and done. Now, again, we're using that as a bounce reference. But if we look at the pair itself, back again, where are other indicators here, right? It's sort of vibrating in this channel right at the moment. Remember about channel trading, right? We came into this channel, not really sure, bounced off a level, bounced off a level, bounced off a level. You see, we've been bouncing off this level for some time now. And as it begins to unfold, okay, we don't really have a flag pennant series happening here, but this channel is shrinking, right? And if the channel is shrinking, it's usually condension, right? And it condensing like that means that it's building up power to go one way or another. And if it spits back out, the other end of the channel is usually the area where it's going to be going to. While if it spits out the top side, the next deviational level, which is usually the mean of the next deviation right around here, right? You see the next deviation up. Now we're using TradingView charts this morning. So if you're not using TradingView charts, and we're going to talk today also about should you use TradingView charts or should you just use the DEX Atomic Simple charts? And we'll talk about that here in a minute if we can find a trade to get into. Let's go back to the chart. We're going to pull back in. Let's look at the secondaries. We're going to jump to secondaries right now. Little chart. 1 hour secondary. Again, I didn't get, there we go. No signal on the AJ. None there. None there. If you just move the chart just a little bit, you'll get that reset. Yeah, none there either. It looks like very tough morning this morning on, yeah, nothing on the secondaries either. So in that position, 11 o'clock, little harder time in here trading this morning. This gets a little bit more convoluted as you put more things on, you get used to more things. Try not to get distracted. You're just using this just a spot. You're looking for the arrow. Okay, that's all you're looking for is the arrow. Just the arrow. Okay. Let's jump back over to the 1 hours. I don't really. There it is. Push that. It pushed out. That's what we're thinking of. It was pushing out of that little process there for the GU. See, look at that. Boom. Now, as it fired off right here, 25.56, you know, could we have gotten into a trade? You could have came at skinny, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you could have. You know, just the way it is. See, once we would have been set up at the top of the hour, you know, I try to look at the TradingView charts themselves as a process of what every hour is. And what does it do every hour? What connection at every hour does it have? And that's something that most of you should be looking at as well. I'm not going to try to talk you out of trading the DEX Atomic. The DEX Atomic system is very, very, very powerful because of its simplistic nature, and it follows only a handful of rules that have a good opportunity. Okay. Now, if we were trading this morning at midnight or last night at midnight, I want you to start recognizing when do you have information and when you don't, right? Because trades like this that you would trade at skinny, you would what we call skinny, wherein you just buy it at the money, you're going to lose. Why? Because you're not seeing what the market has done. You're not reading the market correctly. Here's where I would have taken this trade right here at that level of the mean, right? Because look at that. Let's zoom in on that just for a second. And look what this system has done, okay? Of course, the shoulder being, or the head being popped in, but 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times it hit that area, right? As you pop back down, where are we at with the finished product, right? It's all the way up here, right? This is a loss, right? And in that loss, what did we learn? Well, we learned that sometimes the market value there doesn't hold to the mean, right? Darker line, could that have been the pressure? And the answer is yeah, it could have been. But again, we don't have the crystal ball, right? We don't know which ones are going to lose, which one's going to win. What we're hoping on is that the majority of the ones that we pull to win, right? When we can see enough information. This was enough information here. Some would have taken it to here and lost, right? Now, there's a whole mentality behind scalping and doing all that other kind of stuff, but I just stay focused on trading the what I have in front of me. Okay. Now, would I be trading at 4 o'clock in the morning? Would I be trading at 12 and 1? Right? Would I had enough information to trade these two trades? Because they look great, right? They're like, oh, I could have got in and could have been a contender, you know, because this whole channel has been staying there for so long, you know, boom, 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 with no signal, right? With no signal at that level. Would that have been something that we would have gravitated to? You know, I always try to give myself, if I see something to this effect and I want to give myself trading view, I'm looking at the previous day level right here. Could I have used that? The answer is yes, you could have used it, and it has a success rate. See, it kind of makes sense, right? It has a level. It's time that we're talking about. Could you have used the previous day level there? And the answer is yes, you could have. And these would have been 2 wins you would have gotten from that. So if you started the day fresh from last night, 1, 2, this is just on the Great Britain Pound USD. 1, 2, and remember, at 4 o'clock in the morning, the market's been open for about 2 hours. And there's a lot of crazy stuff that was happening. There's a lot of news that was happening. We jump over and we look 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, here's midnight. Well, this is from today. So, right. So there's a lot of stuff that happens. It's a very volatile time period. And you know, up there we go. We're in on the Euro USD. Let's have a look at this. 1192. Let's go jump back into the charting system. We're going to head into the Euro USD to analyze. There we go. Boom. 1192. This is where 1192. Remember, we were popping that mean. Right there. We're going to use that. That's where our trade is. 1192. We only need the market to really get to, well, and this is a spot Forex, so we would really need it. Where's the breakout? 1190 right there, right? So I'll just leave it there. So if it's above that, when it hits, then we've lost. So, But here's what we have, right? It's bouncing off. See this little tri-level right here? Boom, 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 boom. It's bouncing off of this. And let me see. Let me see. I have to make a judgment call right now. 1192. Let's get into here. Dunk. Boom. 1192. Yeah. All right. We had an opportunity when it first popped on to probably grab a couple. This GU is not even working out. I don't think it's going to end up getting. I'll leave it on for another 15 minutes, but then I'll probably end up pulling it off to open up my reserves some. Okay, as long as it kind of stays at this level of mean, comes in, steps out, and then drops down, it can stay and end up right around in this area right over here. That's where we want to have it become. Because we have this level here. Of course, here, if we can kind of pop down and stay below this, then it's going to try to gravitate towards, if it is trying to curl over, it's going to be down in this area. So that's good. All right. All right, let's jump into some training. We're going to talk about just some good stuff on the DEX atomic system and what you should use and shouldn't use and all that kind of good stuff, right? Okay. So first off, a big question that most of you ask almost immediately is, you know, what should I use? What should I use in the system, right? Because we have a lot of stuff. One, we got signals, right? And the signals are a process of that we've created a long time called the daily signals. They have a high rate of success, but they have a low rate of fill. Okay, they have a low rate of fill. And what does that mean? Well, if we look at the signals themselves, let's get in here and look at the signals. Right, the system signals, daily signals. If we look at the signals themselves, we look at this as a lot, just data, right? Just a ton of data. And you're probably getting encapsulated by, entranced by, oh, look at the win rate, 95, 97, 95%, you know, huge win rates in this process. But if you were to try to take these trades at the time that they come out, the market has already moved well past where they were supposed to be. And what I mean by that, let me get up a nice little color here this morning. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. What I mean by that, when this signal comes out, okay, and say it's a buy, okay, and the market's been moving, okay, it's already moved well past the process. Why is that? And I'll tell you why. Here, you ready for the big secret? It's all about time management, right? And we look at 3 different areas, okay, and we create an area time, say between this period and this period. It doesn't matter what it is, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, doesn't matter. Okay. So the market's moving. Okay. And during this period, we're looking at 2 major things. We're looking at a high and a low, right? Let's say it kind of does something like that. So this is the high and this is the low. Now, as we establish the high-low mentality, okay, not plus low, right? The high-low time period during the next segment of time, which is equal parts, okay, we look at the crossover of that high-low. Does the pair cross over a particular high-low of that time period, right? So let's just say that the price is sitting right in here and this is the high-low, right? And all of a sudden, it just goes past this high, okay? As soon as it crosses over and closes the first bar over that high line, what happens is that the signal says, okay, it's a buy. And what is the statement price set at? The low. You see? So sometimes this could be a margin of 40 to 60 pips. Sometimes it's only 20 pips. Sometimes it might be 15 pips. It all really depends. And since the daily signals move in 20 pip margins, okay, it might be changed a little bit. Since it does that, it tends to have an access, okay, that sometimes this market, by the time you get it, you got a 40 pip margin here, you got 40 pips from here to here, and then the market's already started to move, and maybe 3 or 4 minutes in, it's moved another 10 pips. So now you're looking at 50 pips difference. And you're like, Max, how can I get into that? Well, what we're hoping on for this process is that the market dips back into that zone again to where you've put your working order, where we have set. Okay, so if it comes down close enough to the low of that previous time period, it gets that working order. Right? And then it goes on. And if it does fill, it has that percentage of success. Now, with all the data that we've been able to compile, we've been able to tell you that, for the last 30 days, a 98% success rate. There's also times during the week that you have a high rate of success. Okay, overall, 100% for the Audi JPY for the last week, the last 7 days. Okay, and then we've also broken it down into expiry statuses for on the daily per pair per time frame that we traded in. For these are the daily time frames: 3-7-11, 3-7-11. Okay. So we've given a lot of information, but this information takes a lot of finesse to be able to work. This is really convoluted explanation to what should you start out with first. Now, if you're real analytical and you're real possessive over, you want to see more data, more information, you got to have more and more and more, then play around with the daily signal stuff, the dailies, the 1 hours and the 2 hours and the TNT stuff. Okay. But let me tell you, even the 1 hour, now the daily signal works off of a larger gap period of 3 or 4 hours, and the 1 and 2 hours work off of 1 hour and a 2 hour trade using the same philosophies and same processes. Okay. On how to depict the area and the junk, but it's smaller, right? Dailies 3 or 4 hours, 1 hour trades about 1 hour time period, and 2 hour trades about 2 hour time period. Right. So the process of figuring out what should you work with is stuff that if you're a very technical individual and you got to have the data, work with signals, right? But in all actuality, that's where you should basically end up at, maybe, because I personally think, maybe I'm biased, right, that everybody should be working a Dex Atomic right from the beginning. Every single one of you should be working. You should have come in and go straight to the Dex Atomic. This is what we're going to start you off in. In fact, I'm making a decree today on this show, 6/2/2020, that I give you my word that I am going to start walking all of you into this system of Dex Atomic. You should not be trading anything else. Hang on 1 second. Ooh, I resumed the share. Sorry. There we go. You should not be trading anything else. And if you're looking at my screen going, Max, that's only a $25. If you win that, it's only $25, man. You're like 23 after fees. Yeah, absolutely. When we trade at one contract at a time on these live shows, I only trade one contract at a time. But during my days, I trade much more. Okay. Because I'm not taking chances. I make mistakes. I tout that you should not be distracted. And this is the biggest distraction ever, to try to trade and trade out live, right? Okay. But the market value here is that once we start to learn all these things, like this is the most technical side of it, right? This is the most technical. This is the one that's like after a couple of months of training. So what should you start with? Everybody should start with the Dex Atomic. You should go through the Dex Atomic. And when I say that with all love and intents and purposes for you to become knowledgeable of a system, because this system is the easiest to learn. What are you looking for? An arrow. And then what? Some information in 3 different ways. Dynamic. You're looking for structure, right? Primary structure or dynamic structure. You can even use time structure. Go back on a 1 hour trade. You go back 12 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you'd look at a high low scenario there. And where's my low? It's right here. Boom. So that line is right there. That's the beauty part about it, is that this right here on this Audi JPY, this signal used that process. You can use that to your advantage. Now, you would have won that one if you would have used the mean in here. Here's where the signal came out. Here's where the mean is, right? Remember, between two, a red and red area, you want to use the mean. That's at 73.42. And here's where it expired at, right? You would have gotten bought in by this bear right here. So this would have been another win. So 1, 2. Don't know if you would have got bought in on this one, because you would have came down to the top of this one, and I don't think you would have got bought in. And here, I don't think I would have bought in because it was too far away from the system and had no information over here, right? Because this would have been, you know, if I would use time, it would have been down here, right? And because I didn't have no information, I wouldn't have used a signal. That's what you have to start looking at. I wouldn't have bought this one, or I would have bought that one, or I wouldn't have bought this one. Would have this one have gotten picked up if I used up here? Yes, because during this time period, it came really super close to the top there when you use those margins like that, right? Very powerful. Don't know, Wayne. 73. Yeah. I don't know if this one would have got bought in, but if you would have used it skinny at the top, that's up to you, right? Using time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What was the high there? Right there. Boom. Done. Win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where was the high at? Right there. Boom. Don't know. Yep. You would have won that one as well. Okay. So it's your job to find out which one suits you best. You want to just use all structure? You want to use dynamic structure, where you go back and you find similar processes, right? Similar processes like here, you know, this is a good level to be at. You know, I'm going to go down to the bottoms of these. That's a good level to be at, so I can get in for a sell or a buy, right? Use that dynamic level right there. Okay. Or I can use time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's the low. It coincides up. That tells me that that's a great possibility. Boom, win. Right? I could do the same here, right? On this trade right here, I'm using previous information. Again, I'm up here when the signal fires. I'm looking left and I'm not really seeing it, right? So when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I'm down here for my buy, right? I'm looking for my low during this period, which is right here. And if I've done that, right? If I've used that low and I'm all the way up here, I could use that red line. But then, of course, I lose. But that's just 1 out of 7 you've done so far. Okay. But you got to get in and start practicing what this is. I talked to a gentleman this morning, just a little bit older, trying to figure stuff out. I just want to auto trade, Max. Max, I just want to auto trade. And I can't begin to tell you how many times I've heard this argument. Max, I just want to auto trade. Thanks, Paul Davey. You know, and I think I should get a few of you on here with me. Paul Davey, Thor, you guys, because we're about to shift, and I'm meeting with those guys later on to discuss some major processes. Sorry, I'm flipping all over the place. Okay, here we go. All right, so this has done exactly what we thought it was going to do. Let me get onto that Euro JPY. We're hoping that it'll push back down in here, and this is just like clockwork, right? Boom. This is where we wanted to kind of gravitate to, create all this pressure, right? Now, if I came in and just did one trade a day, like if I showed up at 11 o'clock and I'm like, let me find one of them that are there, right? I'm probably going to trade maybe an average of 3 times a week, right? And if I win 25 bucks, let's just say that I'm waiting for the perfect signal on every single one of them, and I'm like miraculous. I have 100% success at that time, right? $25 each time, 75 bucks a week, 4 times a month, right? 4 times a month. What is that? 300 bucks, right? $300 out there making $300 a month. You're probably saying to yourself, Max, I can collect cans on the side of the road that I'll make more money. Your answer would probably be absolutely, right? Probably absolutely can make more money selling cans. But this is the hunt for consistency. That should be the name of the book. The hunt for red consistency. Or green consistency. That's what you're looking for. My idea is that even just winning this $300 plus a month puts me into a different mentality, you know, because this is, you know, a half a mortgage payment or a car payment. It's a couple extra groceries per week. It's whatever it is, right? But we know when we do that, we're talking about trading one contract at a time. I'm not talking about trading multiples. How do I double that money? Well, if I do this over a period, we talked about this yesterday. If I do this over a period of 3 months, right? And let's say month number 1, I make 300. Then month number 2, I just happened to make 450 because I came into a couple extra trades. I'm still only trading one contract at a time. I'm hunting out consistency, right? Well, let's just make that easy on me. 400. And the next month I make another 300 again. Or I could even make, 500 at that point. Let's say I had a few extra moments on a particular day. Like this month, I only was able to trade because there's a whole bunch of crappy news one day. Right? Add them all up. It's $1,200 divided by 3, average of $400, right? Right? That's the average. This is my consistency. Now, in order to keep that, we got to constantly be disciplined. We got to constantly come into our timing. So what is it in timing now can I show you that will begin your process, right? We've decided that everybody should come into the Dex Atomic, right? You're here for the Dex Atomic. But Max, I want to trade live. I want to trade the bot, right? Like we were talking to the gentleman this morning. I want to trade the bot. Well, listen, learning the Dex Atomic system will help you understand and create more wealth with the bot once you're ready for it. I've said this for years. Bot trading can only be profitable for those that are willing to work it, right? Because you're going to have to pay attention to it, probably more so than you would the Dex Atomic. What do I do with the Dex Atomic? Well, with the Dex Atomic, I come in, I sit down at my computer, I pull up Nadex, right? Pull up Trading View. For me, it's pulling up Trading View and my indicator on board, or Dex Effects markets, right? And then I spend, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes to 11. So this is about 11, 10, 11, right? In trading in front of you like this, just so you see the consistency value from 11 to say about 1, right? I could trade around 2 o'clock too. So during this time, I'm not sitting at the computer the whole time. I can come in and trade like with you. I'm sitting at the computer the entire time. So from 11 to 12. So even if I did that, even if I did this, the average wins that I get during this time is that I'm trading one contract. Sometimes I trade 2 or 3 when I'm in front of you kind of stuff. So like if I would have been paying attention when that got bought in, I would have actually bought a couple of, I would have went in manually, put 2 more on. Right? Because I can afford to do 5 on my account on this one that I'm using because I'm keeping it very mild. Okay. I can afford to do 5 at any one time on board, but I usually leave about a third of my portfolio off in case I see another trade that could take on, like in case that GU came on, right? Then I can put 2 contracts in it and then I'm doing pretty well, right? And at $25, that's $125 per session. This is my average. Okay. And I sit down between 3 to 5 sessions a week. Now, actually, no, yeah, 3 to 5 sessions because there's some days that I sit down in the morning between 11 and 1, 10 and 1. And then there's sometimes I trade back at 8 o'clock, depending on if there's no news on the audio at all at night. No news. I mean, none. Right. And even then I got to be careful. Got to look at gold standards and stuff like that. Okay. So my averages per month right now, okay, per single contract, okay, is 1,200. This is where my average is. There's some people in like Ron Fickert and David Menning and all those guys that are out there that are probably doing something better than I am. I'm over on the chat room right now, and David Menning says Atomic rocks 3-0 today. Looking for one more great trade setup. 7-0 for the week. Holy crap! Today's Tuesday, and he's 7-0. 7-0. Now for a single contract, he's 7-0. So so let's just say he happened to get every single one at $25. He's $125 for the week so far at a single contract. He could easily do $500 so far for the month if he was trading 4 contracts at a time. But I'm not here to push him to do that, right? Trading 8 contracts, $1,000 for the week so far. And today's Tuesday. Okay, so this is not about, I need to find out. He didn't say I was 17-0 or 70-0, right? This is about him finding the perfect setup. And once you find that and you grab onto that, the Dex Atomic is the only system that I know of that is that simple and can procure this much and do this well consistently. The only one I know that can do that. Now, trading a bot, your bot's going to come in, okay? Let's just say now we want to do the ZDON, right? We want to bring the ZDON on. Now remember, I created the ZDON, right? I created this because I wanted to be able to attach the Nadex and be able to trade our daily signals and our signals through it. But there's so much information in there, and because there's a low fill rate, and because there's issues sometimes with Nadex with picking up trades, we lose some opportunities where we would actually win trades that don't get picked up, that should get picked up. Working orders aren't put on, things aren't, there's a lot of craziness that happens. So ZDON was a process to get people to make the connection happen. Now that we have the connection, we need to find the right product in ZDON. And what I feel, that's the Dex Atomic. Okay. But if you're going to come on board and be like, Max, I want to use a bot because I really don't want to do any work. Not true. You're probably going to end up doing more work trading the ZDON than you would the Dex Atomic. Trust me. You're going to get called into it. Ask people like Thor and other people that have traded it, Victor SA. There's a lot of people in that process that trade it. You know what I'm saying? So, also, trading the ZDON bot is more about investment time and on your time and your energies. It's not just about, going in and trading and letting it do its thing for you. Right? This is about you taking the time to learn the solution so you protect yourself. I was also talking to the customer this morning about it. And we said, he's like, well, Max, I've been trading Nadex for some time now. I know it. Why are you going to nerf me and take, and not let me trade it, full bore? Why won't you let me trade the ZDON bot, live right now? I already know Nadex. Yes, but you don't know our system and the connection between it. You haven't been through that process. You see what I'm saying? So there's a solution that I have found is that most people just don't know what they don't know. They don't know. They only know what they've been given before. And sometimes when you've been mistreated in an industry, the only thing that you know is all the scam artist rhetoric that you hear. Come on over and you're going to make $100 every single minute, And so they get used to that. And even though that they know it's a scam, they're still looking for that. Hey, this guy told me it's $100 a minute. I'm pretty sure I could find somebody maybe $50 a minute. You try to make adjustments to that scam mentality. There's nothing out there without hard work. There's nothing without the power of the tools and knowledge. I laughed. I have a cousin, and he's very, and I mean very analytical, to a point where he has debated me on the presence of his trading prowess. Okay. Now, I kind of figure I'm a pretty smart guy, right? Kind of put together a few things in my time, and we debate about these things in the following form. He goes, Max, your system's too simple. I had this with this argument with somebody named of the Martin mentality, right? From our competition. You know, you keep all the stupid people out, he says. You make it about, you know, it keeps people that shouldn't be trading out of the industry, you know, wasting people's times and stuff. And I don't find that necessarily true. But they said, you know, your system's too simple. Mine's very complicated, and I use a bunch of charts and do these particular things, and I have all these indicators and they all do that. And I said, well, let me show you something. Let me strip something out for you here. Okay. We did this a little bit yesterday. I said, you know, I'm going to create a mentality for you here, is that you put on all this stuff that you can trade with. Can you trade with this? Can you trade your life, right? Like your trading life? You need all those tools. Can you trade with something like this? And he said, no, because I don't have my indicators on there. I don't have my Bollinger Bands. I don't have my stochastic. I don't have all the things that I need to make my decision. And that's unfortunate, because the power of price action and everything, you have everything you need right here already. But he was saying, in a long drawn out form, I said, so what is your one group, this group of indicators? There was like this Christmas tree of stuff, and it was like a Bollinger Band, and it was like a stochastic, and the value of overbought and oversold. And I said, so what does this one do? He goes, well, that tells me when the market's being oversold, so it's going to be springing back in to go in a trend up. And I said, okay, so couldn't you just wait for that trends to start producing and get past the point? He goes, well, yeah, but the Bollinger, the stochastic tells me that over this, and I use a crossover method with a MACD, moving average process. And I say, well, but that's the market still moving in a trend value. You're moving upwards. Wouldn't just a simple moving average work? And he goes, well, yeah, I guess. I said, so now you've just taken off two. You've taken off your crossover MACD and that value. And I said, you trade in a, because he trades Nadex as well. I said, all it is an average of staying away from a zone, you know, a particular price period at that time to be below that. So once you spot the trend, when you spot that process, wouldn't that give you a percentage of success? And he said, yeah, but then he goes, then he went through like 4 or 5 other indicators that he had, and we basically took them all off. And I said, take that off, take that off, take that off, take that off. And what he was left with was the following. Yesterday, we did a top-down analysis, and I did that with him. Still no indicators on board. We did end up putting a moving average on and showed him, you know, if you needed something for reference. But again, there's a lot of process that you can look at to give you analysis sitting looking at a chart. Like that one line right there tells me a lot about this particular pair. Right? That it's already valued this zone right here, boom, boom, boom. And I could possibly almost tell you where this pair is going to go next. Right? Sorry, I had to look back over. Can almost tell you where this pair is going to go next. If it's created this value from here, where it's touched back into here, come back up, it's going to try to it's going to stall out right around here. Okay, it's going to stall out right around here, and it's going to drop down and end up down in this area over here. And if you're looking at me going, Max, there's no way you could know that. Why wouldn't you just get into a trade right now and go down? Because I could be wrong. My evaluation of the process itself, the value that I give that call for me, isn't backed up with enough information yet. Now, if I put on the Dex atomic system, okay, let me do that. put it on twice. Don't need it twice there, buddy. Let's see what those 2 marks look like now. Ooh. There's no signal, of course, so. But there's a green line. And look how heavy that is. Right? Look how heavy that is. And that was without me even using a fancy indicator. And I can't really say it's that fancy. I basically trained the support and resistance indicator itself to look for these values, right? These kind of values. Now this was here before this appeared. Why? Because it was given a value of it once before, and it contains that data. Okay. So now I just moved that up there. It has no bearings. Okay. This is where that was at. So would it meet resistance here? Absolutely. Just like it did here. But again, I could read this as a possibility and say, okay, if I wanted to go, because there's another way to trade, the process itself is to make yourself intermittent deals throughout the chain of the trade itself. So just for an example, if I were to come back into the Audi USD at 12 o'clock, and I were to say, where is this thing going to move dynamically from now until the top of the hour? Right? How fast, where is it going to go? And if I felt like this is going to actually pour down and be down in this area for the next 15 minutes, I could come and take an at the money trade, 68.79, wherever it's at, wherever it has money, 68.79, there's 76, it's got $48 on it. I could pop that on because that's like a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, within the hope that it could come down, right? But because I'm buying it for $55 now, right? And I'm going to try to take 70% of that, like about $38 from it. I could easily put it in for $25. And if it moves down in my favor at all, at that point, I can make an easy 25 bucks very quickly. We did this with the USD Mexi the other day, right? We made like $25 in like a minute and 18 seconds or 38 seconds or whatever it was. There's that type of mentality trading, but now you're micro trading. Now you're sitting in, not waiting for an expiry to happen, but you're anticipating the movement of market to a value of distinction. Like you see, boom, 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 arrow, time period right here. Do it for the buy, do it for close, right? Meet the times up, do it for close. $40, put it on for 25, to put a take profit for 25, boom, take your money. You would have gotten right around here. Done. Not even 10 minutes in. Right? Could you do the same thing on all of these trades to put it in super close? And the answer is yes, you could. Right? Like on some trades, you're not going to win it though. You know, if you do a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, everyone that comes over at the trade, where are you going to be? Right? And that's what you have to look at. Like, would I still win or lose? Right? If I were to come at the money on every single one of them, would I still win or lose? And remember, yesterday we said, is there a, what is the percentage rate that you need to win on this particular type of table, right? If you're trading, and I'll let me write this out for you. Let's look at that, right? This is for a real aggressive trader. That's what we're talking about here. Real aggressive trading. So when I get to the table, I'm looking at between $40 to $50 profit. Okay. So that's between 60 or 50 and $60 risk. Okay. So let's just say that I'm able to get every single trade at like $50. Okay. Every single trade I can get at $50. Okay. So I'm risking 50 to make 50. Possibly it'll be 48 after fees, of course. Could I get to that? The answer is yeah, you could. And if you Took 10 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you were 50% successful, you'd break even, right? Well, a little less than, you wouldn't really break even. You probably lose just a couple bucks, right? Because remember, $2 per every trade, 3 if you're winning, or one if you're losing, 2 if you're winning, right? Because you got dollar in, dollar out. So if I lost this trade, this trade, this trade, this trade, this trade, but then I won that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, what am I winning? Well, if I'm doing it $50, right? You lost $250 here, but then you won $250 minus your $2 or what have you, right? So in all actuality, you'd probably come out to be, maybe what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be 5 and then 10. So you'd be $15 in the hole at this point. But that's just a 50% success. Go back and look at the system. Go back and look at the program, right? You're not getting in for $25. You're only getting in at the money. As soon as the signal comes out, whatever the signal comes out at, you're getting that one that is right at the money. And that's it. You're getting the one right at the money, win, lose, or draw. And where do you go with? Right at the money, right? And there's lessons to be learned in there, right? You win this one. So that's 1 and 0. 1 the 1, because you would have lost that one right there, right? We're gonna go back 10 trades. We're gonna see what we won here. 1, 2. There's a loss. So that's 1 and 1. You won that one. So that's 2 to 1. 2 to 2. 3 to 2, 4 to 2, 5 to 2, 6 to 2, 6 to 3, 7 to 3, right there, right? 7 to 3. So you won 70%. What did you just win? Sorry, I probably should put a, you didn't see that, so I apologize. So let me do that again, so you could see it. So if we came in and started like on the Audi USD right here, so 1 and 0, 2 and 0, 3 and 0. I was using a different pair before. 3 and 0. You lost one, so it's 3 and 1. 4 to 1. 5 to 1. Holy crap. 6 to 1. 7 to 1. 8 to 2. So 8 to 2 in that process, 80%. Just on this one pair. We can go to any pair and do that with it. Okay. 8 to 2. So what would that mean in your pocket? What would that mean in the system itself for you? Let's clear it off and find out. So you won 8 and you lost 2. So now you won 8 at 50. So that's $400, right? And you lost 2 minus 50. That's 100. So you're $300 over the last 10 trades. This is a viable process to be able to do. But does that mean you do it? You test it. You got to be ready to sit down there and every hour be at your trade. Okay. You always got to be just taking the 50s. Right. If you drop down, you did like 40, 60, right? What would your success rate need to be? You would need to be up high, right? You need to have at least a 60% success rate. It's kind of funny like that, right? Because what would that look like if it was 60, 40? Right? You won 8, you lost 2. Right? So 320, right? Minus 120. So you won $200. That same amount of time period. If you did a 40-60. But you would have to have, at the money, you got to be right there. You got to be ready. You got to be taking market orders. Some you'll probably be even better at some of them. That's what it is. There's some that you could possibly take. I mean, there's this, again, this is a whole nother strategy of trading. This is an advanced strategy forum. That every single arrow has its value to that process. Now, you're going to get lost in sometimes, like in some of these smaller marginal areas to where you got like 2 pips, 1122, 1126, there's only 1123 available. There's all these like little shortcomings, right? You're not going to have, 1125 available every single time. It might be on the up. You got to come up a couple units. But because you have, and the market's on the move and blah, 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 there's a lot that you're going to miss. And you got to move quick. And this doesn't even begin to say, what does the 2-hour chart look like with that process? Right? This doesn't even say what is the power of the 2 hours and what it looks like on let's do a 2-hour process here. Let's have a look. Could you do the same thing? Market comes out. If everything stays true with this one, you just won that one. But you lost this one. So 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 2. You lost that one. So 3 to 2 or 2 to 3. You won that one. 3 to 3, 4 to 3, 5 to 3, 6 to 3, 7 to 3, 8 to 3. Nope. 7 to 3 right here. So 7 to 3. So 70% right there on the Euro USD on this time period from there to there over one day. If you would have to trade like all the way through, right? But if I went at the 8 o'clock hour, would I have won? And the answer is yes. I would have won this one. 8 to 10. Wait, hang on a second. I apologize. I was wrong. You would have lost this first one. So 6 to 4. So it's finding your values, which ones would work, which ones wouldn't, but you would trade all pairs at that time. Okay. So you see that the amount of strategy and the amount of learning that you have to do is really up to you. Okay. It is a lot of work to do. So top of the hour, 12 o'clock. Here we are trading $25 in the bucket, 1165, 30 something pips in. Did exactly what we thought it was going to do. Look at that. Almost, I circled exactly where it was heading to anyway. Okay, there we go. Okay, as we were talking, remember we circled where I said that I wanted it to go, and there it is. Why is it that I can do that? Is because I've traded this enough to know the market value when it does certain things at certain times and when to get into ones and when not to. Remember, the circle wasn't here. I didn't just come in and circle those bars. That was, if you go back through the video after it's done, you'll see. All right, let's check chat real quick. It's top of the hour. Indices not so great, 5 to 2, but that's in demo. Yeah, I get you. On my charts, I can see news alerts down. The timeline, I don't see that one on the charts. It's shown. I don't know what you mean. Okay, I'll have to come back in there. 1165, we're last down 15 seconds. All the contracts are gone now, so it says minus 20. Oh my God, I'm losing. I better get out. I love this market maker trick. You could come in and click, and you could actually get out of this trade and lose money and lose $20 on the win. being 30 something pips, 26 pips in the win. There we go. There's the win for it. That's a $25 win, $23 after fees. Not too bad, you know, for an hour, sitting down for the last hour. Now, normally that would be a 3 or 4 contract during this session. I try to stay about 5 contracts per session, 3 if at the minimum, 5 at the maximum right now. Later on, I'll be trading a lot more in that process. But that's my solution as I get more secure with working this process with you guys. Now, let me see if I can find anything real quick to get into. We're going to scan back through. We're on the Nadex Atomic chart. Okay, we're on the Nadex Atomic Master. Nothing on this particular one. We got the Aussie USD pumping out right there. Nothing on Euro USD, nothing on that. So we're just going to look at the AUD USD real quick. We've bounced off this zone again with an up pattern. And what does this mean? This means that little bugger right there, right? This is a boom, right? This little pennant area. Oh, come on, nice pinch. There we go. That's the pennant. Okay. So what does it have to do? It's got to pump out down here or up here for me to be able to see that existence. Because if I try to come in, it's building up that power, right? It's shrinking down, boom, 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 boom. But it's using this bottom as the, you know, what number is that? It's 68 and 69, 68, 70 area. It's using that, right? So I'm not really confident about that particular one. So we're gonna not do that one as of right now. We're gonna jump over to the secondaries. Whatever secondaries. What happened there, Chief? There is a signal on, oh, yeah, is there? Yep, there is a signal there. But again, we're in a closing zone here. That's the Audi JPY. So it's kind of doing the same thing as his big sister. Little prima donna pair. Kind of staying flat right there. It's also got a pennant happening as well. Okay. So it's got to pop out up here. And that's why I'm saying, like, the signal says, oh, it's down, but you could see the contention that builds. Boom, 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 boom. And then it's got to pop out somewhere. So I'm not willing to make that decision yet because it could pop out and push down this way, curl this whole thing over, because look how long that ass trend is. You know, continue to go up, but I think it's more in the value that it's going to push itself down and stay with the signal. We're also now vibrating at the mean, which doesn't give us a good hearty feel, so I'd rather stay out. Let's jump in and look at other ones that are in here. Do we get any other? No signal there for the GJ. We do have one for the USD CHF. Let's go look at that. We do have some information. Let's pull on a moving average. There we go. We'll curl over. If we were to do anything, it would be at this level down here. To the 96.17 USD CHF. Oh, I'm at 1 o'clock. 96.17. There's 96.15. Don't like it's bouncing off that top right there. This is the other one that it's kind of getting kicked with here. Kind of vibrating now in this area. And that's why I get a little worried about it pushing past to be up here. Don't have a real good, clear process. So I'm going to avoid that one, even though it could get in for good money. All right. That's basically my time. I'm not looking to see to get any trades on this particular session, so there's no reason for me to sit around and banter with you at this point. I want to thank everybody who's hanging out. Yeah, in some cases there, David, there's, there's like little news events like this one right here. You can kind of see down here, that happen at these particular times. This gives you a good feel, if there's news or not news. It doesn't really show up on previous data. I think there are things that you could do to see that for back testing and all that kind of stuff. But, all right. So $25 win this morning, $1 contract or $25 contract. Not too bad. Get our consistency level going. We're going to be trading a lot more over the week. I might jump back in at that 2 p.m. I'm not sure. I got some business meetings to be able to do. But I try to trade like I trade in real life. So between 10 and 1, I know it's kind of sporadic to be back in and forth, but these are really for training. I try to fill in with training a little bit. If there's something you want to know, reach out to me at maxx@dexfxmarkets.com. That's 2 X's, MAXX at dexfxmarkets.com. You can reach me on the site. I'm going to suggest also as a final note here that get over to the website, go to the Dex Atomic training. Okay, the Dex Atomic training here. And it doesn't matter if you're on the TV portal or what have you. You'll see down the bottom, trading room Discord. Learn this. Okay, go in and learn how to get this program. Why? Because it will put you in a room with all of us. You see, I have a lot of Discords because I play games as well. You'll put you in a room with us, like with David Menning and Ron and all those guys. Down here being able to trade. And so you can ask questions. There's just a lot of stuff in there and you should all be using it. And we're going to be reaching out to a lot of free people now within our system for you to be able to use this stuff. Okay. Boy, I sounded like Elmer Fudd there for a second. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me today and getting your groove on, getting your trades in, all that kind of good stuff. So I really do appreciate you being here. If you have any problems, have any questions, please reach out to us because we really do want to help you become successful in trading this. So as a recap for the final, get into the Dex Atomic, get into Discord. If you can, hit that donation button on the site. It would really help us out because we're building out a lot of stuff. Get a part of the Zedon, Dex Atomic Zedon system as well. That's coming, still working on. We got about a month and a half's worth of code still left to do there to get into the database. But phase 1 has been released, as you can kind of see all morning, those beautiful, beautiful charts that you got and that you can have if you're a paying member in that process. So if you donate, I'll also give you a month in that process, depending on for every $20, I'll give you a month in that solution as well. All right. I'm Max Farrell. This is DexFX Markets. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. And as always, trade well.